Welcome back to the next video. Today we are going to look at the CSS selector. This is Ojosado Innovation. Feel free to look at our YouTube on Ojosado Innovation. Drop your comment on the comment section. Even on this video platform, you have a place to enter your comment. Let us know how you feel about this video. Okay, we are going to respond to you ASAP. Now next, we are going to look at CSS selector. CSS selectors. What actually do we use CSS selector for? CSS selector are used to find, in quotation, find or select HTML elements based on their elements name. Remember, in the previous video, we were able to style p tag, calling it by name. Okay, CSS selector. We have been able to use name, calling this p tag, and we're able to style it. And now we are going to use, we have a CSS selector by calling it by name. We also have calling it by ID, okay, and also class attributes and more. All right. So next, this element selector select element based on element name. You can select all. For example, for p tag element on a page like this. In the case, all p tag element will be what? Center aligned with a red color. Are you seeing it? Now, demonstration. Let's come back to our web page where we stop. I'm going to come here. I'm going to create another p tag. Create another p tag, close it. I'm going to come here and say, thanks for being there. All right. I'm going to save it. Mind you, there is no style, no color for this. We didn't give it any name because of we have styled p tag. All p tag, even if we have thousands of p tag on this web page in the.html, they will all be aligned in center and with color brown. If I refresh the page, what happened? You see, we have this running. Are you getting it now? We have what? This running. All right. So I'm going to remove what is it called? Remove this internal, comment it because it's obstructing our demo. Then also comment this external, then also comment it like this. So you see, now we are using what? Only inline. But if we choose to use external, no problem. I can as well come here, all right, remove this whole p tag, okay, save it. Then I've already commented this, then uncomment external so that we can be doing this code at ease. All right. So if I save this code now, you will find out that the color we gave it for our external is what? Red. And we say test align center. If we refresh our page, what happened? You see, all p tag will turn to what? Red. Reason because we did not what? Separate the selector. If I create another p tag, it will be center and the color will be red. So how can we solve this problem? Because we may have more than 20 or 1,000 p tags serving for different purposes or different view. Are we supposed to give all of them red, and are we supposed to center them or align the old text at the center? That is the question. So to do this, we have to come to what? Using the property, which is different CSS selector, like we have ID, we have a class. All right. The ID selector uses the ID attribute of an HTML element to select a specific element. I'm going to show you how it works. The ID of an element should be unique within a page so that the ID selector is used to select one unique element. Are you getting it? So I cannot come and say, giving it an ID param 1, I get to another p tag, give it param 1. there will be no difference because it is the same name, the same ID name. Okay, it should be unique. Okay, except I want the 2p tag to have the same functionality, the same styling. All right, to select an element with a specific ID, write a hashtag like this, a hashtag character followed by the ID name of the element that you gave your HTML. The style rule below will be applied to the HTML element with ID param1. Example, let's do that now. I'm going to come here, go back to our Notepad++. Next, instead of calling it by name, we have been able to do that. All right, I'm going to come here because the two now are showing red as what the color. Look at it. So to differentiate this one, we are going to give this an ID. Okay, I'm going to come here and I say give it what ID equals to param1. You can call it any name, don't mind me. So I'm going to pick this param1, save it, go to your CSS. After this curly brace, you now say hashtag, call that name param1, open curly brace, then close it here. By so doing, I can now come and say color, call it blue, like this. I will now say font size, give it 20 pixels. I can now say font weight. Mind you, I told you as we progress, we'll be going deeper. Font weight, make it what? To be bold. All right, save. So to differentiate those two one, you see, we now have what? Thank you for being there with a different color. Are you seeing it? It has what? Differentiate this what? Initial welcome Ojosado from this by using what? A ID parameter or selector. You see, ID with an name param. Okay, we've been able to what? Differentiate that. Okay, so you can start with name, you can start with ID, you can as well start with what? Class. Now let's go back to our slide. Next, he said, note, an ID name cannot start with what? A number. Don't forget that. You can start an ID name with a number. All right. The class selector is next. The class selector select element with a specific class attribute. To select element with a specific class, write a period, dot, just a dot, a period, character, followed by the class name. Okay. In the example below, all HTML elements with a class center will be red and center aligned. All right, now let's go back to what? Our Notepad++. I'm going to come here. Look at it. All HTML element. I'm going to come here and I give all this H1. All this H1 down to H6 a class name. I will call it a center. All right. Copy the same class name. Assign it to all of this H2. Paste it into H3. Paste it into H4. Also paste it into H5. Also paste it into H6 like this. Alright, now that I've pasted it into H1 down to H6, mind you, originally this is how it were looking. Okay, so if I refresh it, nothing will happen. So I'm going to come back here, pick this ID class name called star center, go back to my external CSS. Mind you, we're asked, according to the tradition, how CSS class is being called, you use what? Period, dot, the class name. When we're using when we're calling ID, we use what? Hashtag. But class, you use period. Okay. Now I'm going to say test align. I will call it, I say center. Okay. I will now say color. I will now say green. Okay. I will now say font weight. Let me not give you font weight. Let me just leave it so that we can be able to see how H1, H2, H3 is displaying. Okay. So I'm going to save it now. Now, when I refresh the page, what happened? You see, H1, H2, H3, H4, down to H6 has been aligned to center with a color green. So, very quickly, you see that with this, we have what? 3 ways and more other approaches, yes. But these are the most traditional and acceptable ways of calling or styling what? HTML tags. We can style by name, we can style giving it an ID, selector, we can use other selector called our class. As we proceed, we'll be doing what? Multiple selectors. That is why I say and many more. Multiple selector, I can say class name, maybe with inside the class name we have a p tag, and so on and so forth. So for now, this is where we're going to start in this video. See you in the next module. Thank you. Goodbye.